Hello and welcome to another episode of Facebook Fix and Flip. And today we are going to be testing our repair skills on another Facebook buy. Will we make bank or we're gonna fold? Let's find out. Looking at these two iPhones. You got an iPhone 11 and an iPhone XR. I bought these for a grand total of $170 Canadian, and this is what we have. This one is in need of a new screen as well as a new back glass. Interestingly with this one, the screen does still work, it still turns on, and doesn't have any blemishes. What does that mean? Well, that means that this screen can be sold for a profit, maybe around $5 to $7 on eBay. And I do collect the screens and I do put them up for sale. Don't do it often. I have actually only done it once on a bunch of XR screens, but as I collect them, I do eventually offload them to eBay and make a little bit of coin. Now, the other thing that both of these need is a back glass replacement. This one also needs a camera lens replacement as well, and I do have a lens in stock right now. So how do you go about replacing this back glass? Well, first things first, before you even consider replacing the back glass, you look at the frame. If the frame is in really good shape, or at least decent shape, I would say you're better off just replacing the back glass. And if the frame is in really bad shape, you might want to replace the frame as well. In this one is in a little bit rougher shape. I'm thinking I'm still going to keep it though and do the back glass replacement. What you need to go and do, and this is not something that the average person is going to be able to do, is I use a laser machine to go and loosen the glue that is behind the back glass, and that is how you get them off. The other way is with a heat gun, and it's a lot of work. So what we need to do to begin with is take out those pentalobe screws. We got to remove the screens. Now, if anybody else out there is doing these back glass replacements, I do highly recommend that you remove the screens in advance to do this job. And the simple reason why that is done is because there are certain components. The screen can get damaged, the camera can get damaged potentially, but if you're locking in all the dust from it, those are some major important components that can get damaged. So you want to protect those. Okay, great. We have the pentalobe screws out. Now I'm going to turn on my heating pad. We're going to get these phones nice and hot. You can do it also, if you're wanting to do this yourself, you can do it also with a heat gun. It does work. You go around the edges of the screen for a while, and every once in a while check to see if it is on the hotter side. It's just a little bit more dangerous because you can destroy the screen in the process, and I do want to salvage the screen if possible. Alright, that's one that's nice and toasty. So you can see the temperature says it's high, because it is. It's sitting on a 90 degrees Celsius surface. Now this may not work because there's cracks in the screen. No, I found a spot. Okay. The other one is still on the heat pad, warming up. So let's just get this screen off quick. These panels are from another project, so please ignore those ones. Here we are. Disconnect the battery so you're not shorting anything out. Disconnect the screen, the earpiece. Boom. Got that off. Screen is still functional. We'll need it later to move over the earpiece. But now at this point, it is prepped. I just heard something drop on the ground. It's a screw. The screw that's right there, that just fell out. That's odd. Let's put that back. I don't know what the battery health is, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. To prep this, there is one thing I really do need to do, and that is to protect these lenses right there, as well as the area sensor, or whatever it's called. So I always take this Kapton tape and I use this stuff. And the reason why I use it is because it's so wonderful at covering them up at the same time not leaving any residue. Quite pleased with that. And I can put that in the laser machine and get at her. The next one is nice and toasty. So let's get that screen up. It is really toasty. Woo! Just a little dribble of alcohol across that. The XR screens are a lot easier to get up compared to the iPhone 11 screens. Here we are. Next screen. Now the same thing with this one. It's great to take this panel, this shield off first. Just gives you a little bit more space so that when you're trying to get to the cable, to the shield screws that are being held, that are holding down the battery cable, you have a little bit more space to work with, because now you can comfortably lift up the screen and get to this cable here. There we are. Power disconnected, screen, earpiece disconnected. There you go. There is another one to the side. Now, same thing with this one. Let's cover up those lenses, and then we can begin. So as you clearly had seen, I was able to go and get the back glasses off of these, the XR as well as the 11, but there is a problem. The problem is that as I was working away here on another project, on another person's device, this happened to one of the back glasses. You see that right there? It got a nasty chip out of it. It dropped on the floor, and that's that. It's garbage. Goes in the garbage. So I have to move on. I do have another option. It is not as nice of an option because this frame is in pretty good shape. You can see here on the edges, it doesn't have like all that many bangs or bumps. This one, on the other hand, does have some bangs and bumps, but it's not broken. It's not bent either. It does have some marks. I'm gonna have to replace the lens. Now I don't have any lenses for it, I don't believe, in stock, but I might be able to harvest the lens out of the old one, as it's still in perfectly good shape, as you can see. So I'm gonna just see what I can do. I'm gonna move the parts over to this busted up XR. I bought it off of a customer. They couldn't get it unlocked. I guess they had forgotten their password or whatever, and they just said, whatever, it's a doorstop now. So it's good for parts, if nothing else, and that's what I've been using it for. So let's get that going and get those parts transferred over. Now, before I start onto getting that XR transferred over, I really should just get this bit out of the way. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to use the old screen as well, just because, I mean, why not? I'm going to take out, I do have to take out the old gasket as well, or seal, whatever you want to call it. With that out of the way, move on to the iPhone XR. I should take out this seal right. Well, no, I don't need the seal. Well, I'm gonna save this shell for another device, just because it's still in pretty good condition. Maybe I might pick up another iPhone XR back glass at some point. So let's get our giblets out of here and get them passed over to the new device. Now, there's certain things that I need and certain things I don't need. You take a look here and tell you immediately what I do need. The things that I do need: I need this because that is locked to the motherboard. I don't really need this, and I don't need anything right down here either. So it's just the motherboard and the face cam. And yeah, this is the new screen anyways, a new screen, the original screen. I need to bring over this as well, the earpiece, because it's also connected to the Face ID. So let's get this apart, get that motherboard out, and we can get the motherboard from this one over to this one. Now I'm taking the old camera from the old phone because of the fact that ooh, okay, should be still fine. It was exposed for an extensive period of time because there was a crack in the lens and a whole piece of that lens was falling out. So I really would like to keep the original lens because of that. I do like to put the cables all back in advance to some degree because it helps hold the motherboard in place to some degree. And if you can't remember which one's which, I'm pretty sure this one is from the old phone. If you can't remember which one's which, the moment you plug it in, it's going to say, oh, there's an issue with Face ID. So you'll know it's the other one. Just as a tip. Okay, at this point, I have it more or less enough together in order to test the phone. So I'm putting in the original screen. This should make sure that no Face ID issues pop up. Here's the earpiece. And the screen and digitizer. I disconnect in a battery from my tester pile. It's only got 83%. That's why it's in my tester pile. What I'm looking for is whether or not there's any issues with the camera. I want to see if there's any other issues with the phone. And then after that, I can go ahead and move on with basically cleaning it up, getting a new adhesive in, screen adhesive. And hopefully everything was going to go well. It looks like it's got enough battery in it. Yeah, 48%. That's perfectly fine. So let's test that camera real quick. Now, what I'm wondering about is shakiness. Is the camera vibrating at all or shaking, jittering? If it is, that's because of the bump I made against the camera against the frame of the phone while I was trying to put it in. Battery not I don't care. It looks fine. I'm really happy with that. That was really, really easy to do that lens replacement. All I did was just take my heat gun and heat it up for about 15 to 18 seconds, and then I used a plastic spudger on the side. It did make a small bit of a smudge, but I do have these microfiber cloths, and I just used one of those on it. It just cleaned it up beautifully. I got the new seal in already. Sorry I didn't show that on camera. I forgot to hit the record button, but here's the new battery right here. I always like to go and plug it in first and give it a good test, just in case. So far, so good. Let's see how that battery is going in here. It should identify it as not being a genuine battery, but will still show the battery health percentage. What? Maximum capacity 0%? That's wrong. It says 1.1. Oh, maybe it's an issue with the software. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to unplug this. Not use this battery just yet. I'm going to use this battery over here. The reason why I'm doing this is because I have a feeling that that is a glitch caused by 18.1.1. And I don't want this in here at 0% battery health because it's a lie. It's false. So when I update it to iOS 18.2, hopefully that will disappear. I don't really, I think it's at 48%, but I'm going to plug it in just in case. Let's go and do this software update. Then we're going to install the new battery. Here we go. All right, so the update is complete. It is now iOS 18.2.1, and that new battery thing that they put in, fully functioning, started in iOS 18.2 from what I could tell, like officially working. So this is actually an official iPhone battery, and it's registering at 84% battery health, which is actually not bad, but I'm going to continue using that battery as a tester battery. I'm going to go and put in this Ampcentrix aftermarket battery, and let's see that 100% battery health. There we have it. Important battery message: unable to verify. This battery has this iPhone has a genuine Apple battery. 100% battery health. That's great to see. This phone is ready. I'm going to go and put those shields back in. I am confident with the installation of this battery now. There we are, shields are in place. I'm going to do one more test, just get it turned on, make sure it is still doing what it is supposed to be doing. get this in. I like to start up with the top of the screen. I push it in solid right there. Hold it down with my finger while it's like that, flush, and then push. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Very nice. Give it a good rub. And let's toss those screws in. And there we go. That's one of 2 phones done. I do still need to do a couple of tests, like I got to pop out the SIM tray, put my own SIM card in there, make sure it can make calls, make sure I can hear things properly. We've already tested the microphone, it recorded fine, so that's great. Now I just, really all I need to do is, yeah, just that one test. So let's move on to the iPhone 11. We're getting close to finished. So there's 2 last things I gotta do, replace the screen, but also I have to replace the lens here. I do have some lenses. Now, I don't think that these are the special anything. Oh, no, they are. Real sapphire. These are the real ones. Look at that. Which one is it? It looks like it is the thicker of the 2, so it's one of those. Get that screen out. I do want to save the screen. You'll remember that I did completely remove the adhesive, so this should come up relatively easy. Very easy. Look at that. Nice. I don't see any blemishes on the screen either, so it should be good for resale. So it's this top lens. Apply some heat, and we're going to push it out, just like we did with the XR. It's a little bit harder though, because you got to control the heat, otherwise there is a possibility I might be melting something. You put it down flat, push. Nice. There's a little sliver that's left right here. Let's see if I can push this out. Very nice. Means that it's going to be pretty easy to push out the rest. I can just pick the little slivers of glass up with a piece of tape. I would usually do this bit with, anytime you got glass there and you're flicking it off, it's a good idea to use some safety glasses. Just going to grab a Q-tip, soak it up with some alcohol, and we're going to give it a final cleaning before throwing our lens in. Always a good idea to use some tweezers for this bit here, just to keep your fingers off the lens. Now I can grab it with your fingers so you can pull off that protective adhesive strip off there. Very good. And here we go. Slip it on in. Nice. Very nice. Okay, that's in clean. Let's put that camera back in place. Okay, so basically everything is fixed. I just need the new screen. Let's bring across True Tone. Now, any of the tools that I'm using in this video, I do have Amazon affiliate links in the video description. I think I even have one for the Keon Lee. I believe Amazon does have a version of it available on Amazon. So if you're interested in one of these, you can find them there. It's a pretty straightforward process. All you got to do is take the old screen, and I believe it is, I think it's this one, outer one. It's because they're looking to connect it to the chips there. 11 goes right here. Plug it in like that. You see the numbers have popped up on there. I'm going to read. That's the middle button. Move over to the new screen. And then right bottom button. Very good. Can unplug that one. We're going to plug it immediately into the screen. We got to test. Got to make sure that this screen is working before we install it. Our tests are just a few things. Immediately, we're looking to make sure that the digitizer is working properly. Next, we're looking for dead spots, which is still the digitizer. We're looking for any blemishes on the screen. And then finally, we want to make sure that True Tone is working. There we go. So, yeah, I know about a Face ID issue. So I'm just going to grab the settings icon, and we're just going to move around the whole screen. Oh, of course it would do that just while I'm... Try that again. what you saw there where the message popped up and suddenly my finger, same thing with that low battery message, disconnects my finger from the screen. That's what happens if there is a dead spot in the screen itself for the digitizer. Good. Next, you pull this menu down, hold down your finger on here. I don't know if it's there or not. I'm used to it being right here, but how do I tell if True Tone's there if I can't see it? But everything seems to be working fine. I don't see any blemishes in the screen. I don't see any light spots or dark spots or dead pixels. I didn't see any digitizer issues. So we're ready to give that screen a full install. Let's turn that phone off. So we gotta get this transferred over. I haven't checked the battery health on this thing yet. Oh, it really needs to be replaced. Also, the iOS version on here needs to be updated. I'm going to do that first before I go and do anything else, though. Because for obvious reasons, if I don't, I'm not going to have any battery health percentage. And I want that. Well, it's fully updated now. So let's get that new battery in. And there we have it, guys. Import message, obviously. Unable to verify the battery. Unverified. I don't care about that. Max capacity is showing now. That is great. So, we just got to put those shields in. And actually put the battery in fully. And there we have it. That is all done. We unfortunately do have an unknown display message, an unknown battery message, but we can live with those things. Now, there is something that I noticed, and I think I know why it wasn't doing this, and I just haven't clued in. The True Tone message, or True Tone option, wasn't showing up. It is now showing up. You can see it right there. You hold down on the light bar, and you see True Tone on. If I turn it off, the screen turns a lot more blue, and you turn it back on, it's more of a yellowish color. And the reason why I believe why it was not working was simply because I didn't have the earpiece connected, and the earpiece has the sensors on it that I guess that's what needs to communicate with the screen. So those sensors are necessary, and if you don't have it connected for the earpiece, it's not going to show up True Tone. Interesting. I've learned something new today. Also, another thing I never noticed is you got the power button right there. Look at that. I don't need that right now, but it's cool. So the only thing I got left to do at this point is to give it a full test. We already did some tests on it, but what I need to do... Oh, that looks stunning. But what I need to do is I need to take out my SIM card out of my phone, and I need to make a call, make sure that bit of it works, make sure that the LTE or whatever else, the data-based cellular part of it all works fine. And then I can finally call that quits. Say this job is done. So the task is finally complete. They're looking really spiffy. Nice and clean, ready, fully tested. I've tested both. So let's just take a look at what the numbers show. Was it worth it?
So for the breakdown, I've got a little bit of information already in. For the iPhone XR, I got 64 gig. I paid $70 for that phone. The parts, they weren't actually that much, but we did take a little bit of a loss on the one part because I broke it. But nevertheless, battery was about $13.19. The back glass that I couldn't use was $6.99. There was about $5 in shipping, and the tax on top of all that was $3.27. So for parts, you got $28.45 with total expenses of $98.45. My estimate of how much it's worth, I have already posted it on Facebook for $260. It has, as of not yet, has sold. I might be able to get it for $260. I might get a trade-in and get that lower. I don't know. Actual sale, don't know yet. Potential earnings, I'm going to put this in as temporary just for now. But our potential earnings is $161.55. And I know that I'm going to get some sort of profit out of that no matter what, even if they take 15% off, which $15, $30, $30, maybe $220, $230, still definitely in the green for that sale. There is no losses in this video, thank goodness. Now for the iPhone 11, there was a fair chunk more expenses. There was the screen itself, which was $22.07. Also, we have the battery, which is $15.78. You have the back glass of $9.50, some shipping charges of $5, and you have taxes of $6.81 for a total cost of parts, $59.16. So we have total expenses of $159.16. Now, I estimated my sale at $300. I think is what I was expecting to sell it for, maybe a little bit more, maybe more like $340. And, well, we did actually sell it for $300. Shockingly, there's a higher profit margin on the iPhone XR than there is for the iPhone 11. That's ironic. But very likely I'm going to get knocked down by $30 or $40. So it's probably going to be pretty darn close for our earnings on that one. So far with this, the A50 has not sold yet. I do have some bites going on for that one, and the S5 has not sold yet because I haven't been able to get it unlocked yet. So I've yet to see what's happening with that. So there's the breakdown.
So we made a profit. So if you liked the video, please do leave a like, and if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another episode. Bye.